Go back to the old settings for the audio. We're not getting the mic and audio. This isn't coming through the mic.
I need this. You haven't got a light, have you?
It's on my phone.
What channel is this on?
Channel input 1. Mic. That's what you need to be, or is it line? Have you done this before with audio through this?
I did.
Who with?
I did it myself. I can hear myself talking. Channel.
Vision of Asia. I just mixed with settings. I couldn't tell you what. Test it.
Am I on 1 or 2? I can't see the blood.
That's 2. That's 1.
Okay, so it's 2 of. It's 2. Obviously.
What do you have to delete?
The question mark equals whatever that
I can hear it.
is. You can? I'll do it. So, yeah, that bit. You can let it next one.
Gentlemen, I think we're back. Maybe not.
You can hear me, can't you?
Yeah. It's not on that though.
Hello, hello.
Is it the output? Yeah, a bit delayed.
This is delayed. Yes. So this thing.
Well, after what can only be described as a calamitous first 45 for all concerned here at Slice of Cheese, trying to get this stream to you, we'll be back with the second half. Luckily, there's been no goals, so I'm going to put it out there and say you've missed zip, but in actual fact, you've missed an enthralling contest between two teams that have come to play. impressive, in particular Clarence United. They're really up for tonight's game. I'm Damien Gill, or as I think I've been termed, the digital defibrillator, because I've somehow brought that back to life. That stream was dead and buried. We'd all but given up. But a Hail Mary has brought us back to you, so we hope you enjoy the second half. We've got Andrew Rooster beside me. Drewster, you saw more of the first half than I did. Talk people through it.
Yeah, thanks, Damien. We went the emergency spreaker there for a little bit, but the stream appears to be fixed now thanks to your fine work, and a real sacrifice there for you. You're probably not saying a minute of it, given you would have just been buried in the laptop for 45 minutes. But what you have missed is a pretty entertaining game. Clarence have been right up for the contest. They've flown in for challenges. They've played with a good intensity. They've taken it up to the more highly fancied Zebra's outfit. We've probably still shaded the contest. They've had the two best scoring chances of the night. McEwen flashed wide of the post on about 10 or 15 minute mark, and then Hughesloop probably should have buried one when he had a chance in the box. And then very late in the half, if not for Dyson in goals pulling off a spectacular diving save, they also could have opened the score. And Clarence, they've had good periods. They've had a couple of good shots from range, but no real clear chances of note. But it's certainly not been perhaps the one-way traffic that some would have expected heading into this one. They've been right up for the contest. They've pressed them well. Aldridge has really impressed me with his work in midfield. I think he and Naden have done a really good job taking it up, so it's been a fascinating battle between those guys. Aaron Cairns has probably been the big story coming into this one. He's looked lively. He's done some nice things, had some quick turns. He's probably tried to do a little bit too much at times on the ball, but he did forge that brilliant chance for Muller at Dyson tonight at the end, and he looks like being a game breaker. He's had Heath wearing him pretty tightly for Clarence throughout the first half. I've enjoyed the battle down the flanks. Toghill and Lush have both been going hammer and tong at each other, two fairly rugged customers there. On the other side, you've got Jaden Hay playing left back, which perhaps would be a bit of a surprise. With Conway departing, there's always going to be a bit of a question mark over who would fill that vacancy. Would Toghill switch back to the left back position that he played in previous seasons? He's been such good form. In the middle in a circle, Zebras players still yet to return. I'm just waiting on them to get us, as we've seen Chris A looking very stern down on the sideline. Will he make a substitution? As Gilly pointed out, they've probably got the best 11 players out on the pitch at the moment. It's a very strong side. You've got Hay at left back and Toghill right back. The centre back pairing is Harrison and Fagg. In midfield, a trio of Cairns, Muller and Sherman. There was perhaps some question marks over whether Sherman would play this one or not. He's obviously been battling some Achilles issues. And with 2 big weeks coming up, would he start was always going to be the question, but Hay has shown full respect to the Clarence side and picked his best 11. He's played him just in front of the back 4. Cairns obviously playing the 10 role, and Muller in his usual box-to-box role. And McEwen, Hughes-Lute, Walsh, the regular front 3. We're just about to get underway here. Really looking forward to this second half. Are you just sensing perhaps an upset could be brewing, Gilly?
I'm just excited to watch the football after that first 45 where I was just hunched over a computer trying to just come up with something. I had no idea what I was doing. I was pressing buttons, but I got it to work, so I hope you enjoyed. Here we go, kick off. Aaron Cairns misses his target just wide of McEwen, and it'll be watched out by the Reds, and they'll take a throw in. Got to be impressed with Alan Jablonski's work. An astute manager that's gone and just built on this squad as they've gone throughout the season. A lot of people thought they'd be slumped to the bottom of the table and lose by double-figure margins on a regular basis. They've been better than that, and they look like getting even better as they move on throughout this second round. It's a meaty challenge that sees Walsh come out with it. Gives it to Toghill, gives it back to Naden. He doesn't mind the hustle and bustle of a midfield battle. Down the left, and it just eludes Rob. Can't bring it under his spell. Throw in now. Toghill, he's up and about from Hughes-Lute, out for the wheels of Walsh. He runs away, puts it out in front of himself and tries his best Usain Bolt impression, but can't erase that one down. It'll be a goal kick. The big vacuum, the Dyson. He pulled off some heroics in the first half. Not that you know anything about it because you missed it thanks to our technical difficulties, but I'm sure it'll feature in Spec Saves of the Week. It was a tremendous effort from young Dyson, who's had a real mixed bag of a season. He pumps this one long, looking for Naden. He just might find him. No, he doesn't. Sherman high to meet it. Hedge away from Hughes-Lute. Long back through the head of Moody. Hang on, there's a halftime change. The big Moody monster's on. The big Hank Moody. And it's a foul against Cairns, against his former teammate, Phineas Aldridge, the Hufflepuff prefect, as we've often referred to him. Just got one of those names, Phineas Aldridge, like he'd just be launching into... what are those chocolates called in Harry Potter? Yeah, come on, dish me something here, Drew. So I'm struggling with it.
There's a bunch of them, mate, but if you're going to go the Harry Potter reference, Phineas Nigelius, a character, but it's certainly not a Hufflepuff prefect, so you're well off here as Naden charges forward and is hassled there out of it by Muller. Just trying to figure out what the change has been here. It looks like Jaden Hay might have come off and Fag has switched to left back, so a real change there. I'm not sure what's going on, but a bit of a surprise to see Jaden Hay substituted after just 45 minutes. Must be injury related, you'd have thought, as Toghill heaves this one down the line and the Dwayne Pipe will run onto it. He tore him apart in the second half last time they met. He's looking to do it again, but this time a pretty good sliding challenge held him up by Aldridge. Just did enough to put him up, and his pass has slid out of play. And they are still well and truly after this one. Clarence, they're flying in for challenges as they have all day. Hedge lays it back. Burgess looks to work it forward, returns it to Hedge. Plays along the carpet in the direction of Naden. It was dangerous, almost turned it over in a bad area, and they retreat back to Dyson, who will launch it long. Trying to keep it in, bring it under his spell was Andrew Robb. Scored a brace last week. That's a fairly poor pass. Put Lush under some pressure, but it's now turned over. Storming through the middle there was Tyler Harrison, and I don't know about that. Play on in my books, that one, but the ref's blowing the foul, and they take it quickly. Sherman shifts it out wide to the right. Toghill will go back to Sherman on halfway. He looks up and wants someone to move for him. In the end, worked it to Jordan Muller. He's off to the races, but Naden showing him, a lovely little pass in behind and storming in with a cross in. McEwen's there for the tap in. Oh, superb football there from the Zebras. A beautifully worked goal. McEwen there for the tap in. It was a superb pass from Muller to start it off. Walsh charged in behind and put it on a platter for that man Sunday, and he scored a few of them in his time, Gilly.
Yeah, I don't think the Reds will be happy with their defensive work there. It was just a bit too easy, and I actually think Josh Burgess at the back stick had a chance to cut it off before it actually got to McEwen, but you give those McEwen, he doesn't miss that, nor should he. Someone down in a bit of discomfort. Might be Dwayne Walsh. I think he got the ball away just before he copped a pretty vicious tackle. Left a fair dent in him from the looks. So, it'll be interesting to see what goes here. But they've got that goal, the Zebras, the goal they craved. They're 1-0 to the good. The live stream clearly the kiss of death here for the Clarence United side. He's still down, Drewster. A bit of bother. It is Dwayne Walsh. He's generally not one to go down easily, Dwayne Walsh. So, might be a bit to this. I think it was a late sliding challenge. I don't think he got picked up by a Horde of the referee because play had moseyed on, but I don't think it was the cleanest of challenges you'll see. Now, Zebras, the main thing for them is they've got a lead, a valuable one. And still looking down on the touchline, it doesn't look like there's a smile on Chris Arsdale just yet. Want a little bit more from this, but I was just saying how good Clarence were looking now. Up for the contest they were looking, but that changes things as it comes wide from Aldridge. Picks out Choi. He finds Rich Heath and receives back to Choi. The Korean can't get it past McEwen. McEwen wins it, bobbles off his boot. Hoogsley slides away from Heath. Naden there just to dink along and find Choi. Battling with Fag, and Fag watches it over for a throw-in. Looks inside, Aaron Cairns in a paddock. Ignores that. And goes further. Finds Sherman. Sherman. Back for Harrison. Back from injury today. Look good so far inside. It bounces up on Cairns and he looks back to another midfielder in Sherman, who picks out Big Hank Moody. Oh, he's almost sold Fag short there. Choi, his eyes lit up. He couldn't believe it. Like a kid at a chocolate store, but he just couldn't race that one down. It would have been danger looming for the Zebras. The throwing comes in through Burgess. Choi races off his boot. It'll be a Zebra throw.
Clarence will need to tighten up here. Very reminiscent of the last time these two teams met, when a very solid first 45 they played that day before the pace. It was Conway coming on that day, who's now departed, who unlocked them with a cross, getting in behind with his speed down the flank. Hughes scoring. And then Walsh tore them apart. They got the ball to wide areas and the pace really hurt the Reds that day. And they don't want it to happen again. Meanwhile, it looks like Michael Moreno might be the man coming on for Dwayne Walsh, who it appears will not continue in this one. As Cairns looks to dance around a couple, but Naden wins it for his side. Looks at storm forward here, Nick Naden. And he's shut down eventually. Just perhaps lack the support. Sherman goes back to Big Moody. And we scored 2 goals and an own goal in the curtain raiser here. An absolute cracker of a game, that one. As it's played forward and it'll be cut out by Burgess. So just enjoyed the work on the Persian Marsh in that one with the powerful braces. This one's played forward in the direction of Kyungmin Choi. Moody across to deal with that. Choi did really well to keep it in, and that is fouled by Moody rather cynically. We might see the ref reaching into his pocket for a slice of cheese here, will we? No. Might just be lucky. He was well and truly beat there, and he decided to clip him. It was really clever from the South Korean. He didn't give it up. He lost his footing, but he kept fighting and flicked it through for himself, got up and drew the contact. So a free kick in a good area for Clarence to try and conjure up a way back into this game. It's going to be Phineas Aldridge standing over the ball. What can he deliver? Still waiting to see if the Zebras will make that substitution. Plenty of space at the near post for someone to make a run here, and they curl it in that direction. It bounces off a couple of heads and straight into the hands of Graham Wright. Somewhat fortuitous. Lenny launches it long in the direction of Walsh, who appears to have recovered. Here's Cairns. He's beaten to the ball though. Well done by Rich Heath. He switches it out to the right for Aldridge. Heath continued his run, but Muller, who's been really good so far in this one, got across and put it out of play. They take the throw quickly. Heath and Aldridge. Aldridge plays an early cross. It's a good one. A teasing ball, which Tyler Harrison wins away. Heath followed it up, but Muller took it away from him, and now it falls to Sherman in midfield. He wanted an option short. He'll make it work to Cairns. Goes wide on the left for Sunday McHugh, and he's trying to get around Burgess. Dropped it off instead for Cairns. Beat one. Can he beat Naden? He won't have to because the ref has drawn it back for the foul against Burgess. He's very dangerous when he gets one-on-one, Aaron Cairns.
Bertie Bott's beans is what I was referring to before. I could just see Phineas Aldridge just munging down a packet of those bad boys. A lot of flavours, I think. Earwax, a popular choice. But yeah, I reckon that'd be right up Phineas Aldridge's. I reckon that's right up his alley. I'll have to just stroll around the cameraman to get a good view of this as Sherman's over the set piece. Comes in as blocked from Naden just at the 6-yard box, and then he sees it out. It'll be a throw in now just in front of the technical area of the Zebras. Yeah, Bertie Botts. And you say he's not a Hufflepuff, but I reckon that he's a Hufflepuff at heart. What do you reckon? He's a Ravenclaw. What are you raving on about? As it comes down the line, kept in by the Zebras, and it flies in, and it's collected from Dyson. The vacuum just sucks that one right up. Out he goes, a long throw, looking for Choi. And it's seen away from Fag, not mucking around. The former skip. Burgess starting, former Glenorchy Knight and Zebra as the throw comes in. Brought down from Randall. Handball called, not by Hordle though, as Randall tries to switch it up and search for Rob. It's blocked by Tog Hill and lets in Lush. Lush can't quite guide it to his skipper. It's taken away now, and they're at the races, the Zebras, with a heap of heat down the far side. It's Dwayne Walsh, who's recovered miraculously, drops it off superbly for Hugsley, who does the same, looking for Aaron Cairns, the Scotsman. What can he do on return? In the box, just drops it off now for McEwen. He's smothered by Naden, but wins it back, zips in across from the byline, but unfortunately for Adam McEwen, it rolled over, and it will be a goal kick, and the Reds will just breathe easy and try and get something going the other way. They've got to chase this ball game as it's 1-0 to the title chasing Zebras at this point in time. Dyson over it, the big vac. Long and strong. Moody under it with a powering header. He almost sets something up. It's off the head of Malcolm, back through McEwen. Cairns with a bit of razzle-dazzle. He doesn't mind a bit of that. Drops it off for Muller. Switches wide, and just wide of Walsh, out of play.
So get the microphone back. Just the one microphone set up tonight. So now getting back to the Harry Potter conversation, it's becoming very stretched over these multiple exchanges. But look, Phineas Nigelius was a Slytherin in the books, but Aldridge to me, he's a bit of Ravenclaw about him. Very crafty character, very intelligent player in the middle of the park. It's Graham Wright looks to set things off again. Will patiently build from the back as they so often do. This isn't really a man for patience in Big Moody. He likes to get things moving along. He played it for Sherman, who played an intelligent ball that set it down in front of Muller. So in a task, but he was up to it. He sends it into the path of Tokyo. Looks to drive across and takes a big deflection out for a corner. The Zebras turning the screws early in the half. They've come out looking a lot better, as looks like Michael Moreno is going to come on, so maybe we will see the end of Dwayne Walsh. Or will it be Cairns coming off? Or is he just having a chat with Chris A? Surely not. He's just been starting to feature prominently, Cairnsy. We're ashamed to see he's not end because he's starting to look lively. But Moreno is going to come on for someone, the Canadian, as the corner is taken to the middle of the box. Naden wins it away. He's done well there, Nick Naden. Very good in the air in addition to what else he's got. Very complete young player. So this one's launched in the direction of Randall. Walsh jumped over the top of him, and Toggill lays it back for the Scotsman right. Presenting is Fag, who slipped at the crucial moment and let in Aldridge. He plays it forward for Randall. Too heavy though. It was just poor that there from Aldridge. Fag had let them in with a slip. There was acres of space and he just rushed and played it far too far ahead of him. And they spurn what was a good opening there, Clarence. Need to make them count up against the Zebras. You don't think they're going to get too many. As this one's headed into touch and it'll be a throw-in still in an advanced area. And eventually it gets to Burgess here. What does Burgess opt for? He's got Naden working hard for him. Ignores that. Instead he favours Choi. Choi trying to draw the foul, but really clean challenge from Fag, and then he's clipped from behind by Kyungmin Choi. So some clever play there by Henry Fag after he had a moment he'd rather forget when he slipped over there on the slippery surface perhaps. A little moisture in the air. Is played forward by Tyler Harrison. Tokyo turns it. Moody back to Henry Fag, as we said, playing left back. Jaden Hay, we're not sure what the story was there, but then subbed off. Burgess did well to skip around more, then plays it in the direction of Aldridge as he's pocket picked by Sherman. And Sherman will lay it back to Graham Wright. And now Tyler Harrison puts it out in front of Walsh. Is he travelling? Moreno is still jogging on the sidelines. So maybe he'll come on for Cairns, who might be lacking a bit of match sharpness, rather than Walsh, who we thought might have succumbed to injury, but he appears to be moving all right now, the big Dwayne Pipe. He scored an absolute ripper of a goal last time they met. Took the ball on halfway just about. There's Wright, who will get us going again here. Pace perhaps lacking in this second half. It was there in the first half. Maybe a few tired bodies. Hughes flicking on there, but hasn't quite had the same intensity this second half. At the first it was played at a real furious pace. It was always going to be hard to maintain, and I think we might have seen that so far in the second half, Gilly.
I think you did right, Drewster. Not quite the intensity from the Reds in particular as it comes down the left-hand side. Nipped away from Clarence United with Cairns for a moment, and then with Sherman. He looks for McEwen. He looks to turn on it. Burgess with a touch, but not a decisive one. McEwen away, and then stolen by Heath, and with a burst, he's out on the left wing. He's got Sherman corralling him. He looks inside. He's got Randall, but Randall in no real option from that sort of central position. Somehow Heath does all right, gets out of a bit of a scrimmage, gets it out for Randall. They receive it back, and then it's hoofed clear. And the Reds will receive back courtesy of a throw-in. So a throw-in through Henry Lush. Flicked on. Naden keeps it moving. There's a foul in the process against James Sherman. The governor will just stroll away. And it looks like it's that time for a change. Looks like it'll be Aaron Cairns to depart. Michael Moreno to replace him. So the Scotsman's seen 63 minutes, and that's enough. So off comes Aaron Cairns, and on comes Michael Moreno. To be honest, selfishly, I don't like that change because I thought Cairns was starting to show flashes. As the ball comes in, Sherman nods away. It's Walsh who almost tries to get rid of it. Picked up from Rob. He's clattered into. It's got to be a yellow bus ticket. A slice of cheese from Sherman, just trying to really milk it. He's really just got a dose of pure milk on that one. Just really giving it everything. A real 3-litre type setup. Just milked it for all it was worth. Trying to make it out like he was the one that came off second best. I'm sorry, Sherman. Into the book you go, and a glorious opportunity for the Reds.
You could hear the thump from up here in the stands, so quite clearly a foul and a really good set-piece opportunity. Do they have anyone who can curl one in from range? Looks like it's going to be Rob from range, is it? He's going to drive it low. It's easily blocked by Sherman, though. Not Rob's best effort, and this one's hacked on out of there. And over the sideline it goes. Certainly not a stranger to a slice of cheese, is the Sherm. Rather agricultural at times, but I suppose that's what you want from a defensive midfielder. Someone who's going to make the make them earn that space in and around the box as Lush prepares to take the throw. Really liked his first 45 tonight, Henry Lush. Thought he was fantastic. They're working in the middle and Heath gets clattered in too late, not before he releases it forward. Fagro's highest though. McEwen with a lovely touch and turn in the middle. Aldridge does well and wins it beautifully. Unfortunate though, it rolled straight back into McEwen's path. Oh, brilliantly led by Henry Lush. He did really well there and played a 1-2 with Aldridge and continued to maraud forward. This is building nicely, Clarence. He drops it in for Aldridge, just couldn't control it though, and Moreno played it to McEwen. Back now to Jordan Moore looking to storm forward. Naden was across to deal with him. Hedge leads Moreno to the ball and he'll just see it out of play, but they're giving a pretty good account of themselves, Clarence. The Zebras shading the contest, but they're certainly being made to earn it, and Clarence, you would not rule out the possibility of nicking something from this game. They're a much improved lineup from when I've seen them a few weeks ago against another contender, South Hobart. They were well and truly outplayed on that occasion when we did the live stream of that one, but really improved in the last couple of weeks. Against the Rangers last week, they were impressive, but it's one thing to do it against the Rangers, another against the Zebras. Near post, played in towards Hugh Sloot. His touch sprayed out and it's cleared again. Can they absorb this spell of pressure? The Zebras would love a second goal just to create that breathing room. Moreno offers short. Instead, they'll get a long throw in the Hugh Sloot direction. Who flicked it on. The back post was Dwayne Walsh. There's time to just play it all the way back to Toggle in the end. He'll play the possession. Here's Sherman. He's got Randall on his back shoulder, so he turns and goes back to Toghill. Matthias Toghill plays it into the channel for the Canadian. I don't know if Moreno will get there. He just kept it in. Did he know? It's rolled out of play in the end. Not his best work there, and the pressure relieved. Clarence hanging in there. And a very stern-looking Chris Hay on the touchline, I see. Probably wouldn't be terribly thrilled with what he's seen so far.
He's got a face like a slap backside, doesn't he? Real look of filth. Although he's just given Burjo a little something. He doesn't mind a bit of fun and games, old Chris Hay, as it's picked up from Lush into the bullseye. He goes, it's won by Muller. Aldridge with a decisive touch, sees it the way of the Reds, but not for long as Fag sweeps across and finds his centre half. It's Harrison forward for Toghill. He's got plenty of space if he wants to find Muller centrally. He opts to go back into defence. It's from Harrison to Moody. Big Hank Moody finds Fag. It just nips by Luke Hoogsley and is hoof long from Malcolm, who looks home in defence, to be honest. Off the head of Moody, back through Heath, and then back from Moody looking for Fag over his head and out of play for a throw in. Be Burgess again down the right flank. Clarence still up to their eyeballs in this one as it comes long down the line. There for Naden. He battles with Fag but loses it as Muller wins. Tries to pick out black and white stripes. Picks out Heath instead over the top looking for Rob. It's right off his line and collects quickly for Toghill. They race away inside for Sherman. McEwen wanting it long and diagonal, and that's how he goes. Sends it long and diagonal and picks out McEwen, who slides to keep it alive near the corner. Unfortunately for McEwen, his good work is brought undone by a rather unfortunate handball. And it'll be a free kick for Clarence deep in their defence.
Yeah, it was rather unfortunate. That did the hard work in his hand. Certainly not intentionally, but stopping the ball there and relieve the pressure. Dyson will launch it long. He's had a lot to do with goals tonight, Dyson, but he did make that one spectacular save earlier on. But probably a credit to the Reds' defence, really. Just that one lapse early in the half. They've steadied since, and we've got a real game on our hands here. The Zebras haven't been able to crack them since. They have looked pretty solid at the back themselves, though. Moody and Harrison, the pairing now, with Fag shifting to left back after Jaden Hayes' substitution. In the first half, it was Fag and Harrison. Hoogsley drops it off from Moreno. He turns with the ball and looks to play a raking ball cross field, but the impressive Henry Lush was there. Here's Hedge. He hates playing centre-back by our reports, but I tell you what, he looks good back there. Ian Malcolm, some real promises appearing. Here's Sunday McEwen, who's got two for company. Burgess was one of them, and diligently stuck with him and saw it out of play. 69 minutes have ticked by here in the second half. KG5. Can the Zebras kill it, or will Clarence hang in there? Here's Hughes at the top of the box. Lovely through ball for the overlapping Togilu. Puts it into the Walsh direction, who somehow spoons it over the top from all of 5 yards. He surely had to bury that. The big Dwayne pipe was put on a platter for him.
You say spoon, I say he's ladled that over the top. He's given it that much. Absolutely not sure how he has got it on that trajectory, but there you go. Ripping movement from Hoogsloot, and then good delivery from Toghill. Should have been finished off and should have been a game killer, but the door stays ajar, and Dyson, the vacuum, will try and suck up some time and then go long. Beyond halfway, one in the air by Sherman. It's there for Hoogsloot. It's won by Lush. Out in front of Rob. Continues to run and hunt. It's cut off from Toghill. Will find right. A few nervy moments in this game, the Zebras, but they remain with a clean sheet to this point as it comes off the head of Hoogsloot. They keep exchanging headers. It's back through Malcolm. Hoogsloot's second header, not great. Finds Aldridge, drops inside, finds Naden, switches it up. A bit of work for Rob to do to bring this one. He does well. Finds Lush. Lush will find Hedge. A much more settled outfit, this Clarence United team. And dare I say, it's going to be a ripping Eastern Shore derby on what we've seen tonight. I think next week, it might be at the same time as Zebras Devonport, or is it on Sunday? It's on Sunday, so we've got a real double treat next week. I think that will be a ripping game. I honestly do. The way both teams are going, as it's picked up from right. Moody now looks forward, finds Hoogsloot, he traps it, just puts it out in front of Fag, and he runs. Well, he's in a swarm of a couple of Reds, and Naden almost cuts it off but loses it. Morano finds Hoogsloot, who wins the corner off a scuff shot, a sliding boot, and it will be a corner and another good opportunity for the Zebras to gain a goal. The Shermanator, the governor, big James Sherman, just strolls over. He's good when it comes to set-piece delivery. It looks like Clarence are readying a change. It's when you're in this sort of situation, you want someone with the right temperament. As the corner comes in, over the heads of everyone, it's Heath, I think, who's trying to race it down. He does well and finds Rob. Rob crunched into from Fag, but it'll be a Clarence throw. Hordle believes it's the other way. And it's a substitution. And as I was just talking about, when you're in these high-pressure situations, need someone with the right temperament, someone with ice running through their veins, cool, calm, collected. Joey Stevens onto the pitch. Off comes Sam Randall. But Joey Stevens, he'll be in no hurry to get on the pitch. Look at him. He couldn't be cooler. Interesting to see where he lines up here. Joey Stevens usually known as defensive mid and sometimes a centre half. He's replaced their number 9. So, interesting number 9. He'll be in no hurry to get rid of it as it's picked up by Morano. He finds Fag, who squirts it into the box. Seen clear from Hedge. Aldridge brings it back in for the Reds, though. Morano fashions a shot. Oh, it's bundled by Dyson. And McEwen says, thank you very much, before he's ruled offside. Hordle will go over and talk to his linesman. I think the discussion here is going to be which player was offside. Was it Walsh or was it McEwen?
Both possibly interfered, though, with that play in Dyson. It'll be interesting. The players certainly seem to think it's not going to be a goal. I don't think it will be a goal. I would have thought that both were impacting the play, and that is the decision. So it doesn't matter who it is. And no goal, and Clarence live to fight another day. Joe Stevens appears to be just playing the central striker role. Here's Naden. Maybe he'll play a more advanced role as they push on. I suppose whilst it's been really good from this first 11, perhaps lacking a little bit of depth, the Clarence squad, having an impact player to bring off the bench in this situation. A defensive midfielder, probably not who you want, but Stevens' first touch is a poor one. You probably want someone to have a bit more impact up top. He's probably a man you bring on with a 1-0 lead rather than chasing it. But let's see what the great man, cool, calm, collected Joey Stevens can bring to the table. Here is Toghill, as Gill wants to say something about his man. We'll give him a speak in a second as Heath wins it, and we'll just shift it out in the direction of Finn Aldridge, who turns on the ball and lays it off, and it's chipped forward, but Muller wins the header in the direction of Sunday McEwen. He cuts inside and gives it to the Canadian Moreno in space. Stevens nearly picks his pocket, but he got it off in time. Strolling forward with it is the big Sherm. Toghill with a step over and played into a dangerous area. Moreno, he was dispossessed by Heath. He shapes a shoot from range. Moreno over the top, rasping drive. It's just, what were you wanting to add there about your man, Gilly?
Can't remember it all now, but now I've got the mic, I may as well have a bit of a natter. Dyson to bring this one back in, but I'm going to be honest, Joey Stevens at number 9 makes me giggle. Just not suited, I would have thought. When you want someone really running at them, and that's not Joey Stevens' game. He's never in a hurry. And why would you be when you're him? As it comes down the line looking for Choi, Moody just goes, you can have it in the stand. Looking for a crowd catch. It'll be a throw-in now for the Reds. The door stays ajar with that offside goal. Clarence can still claim a point from this one. Comes down the line for Choi. He's bodied up and takes a tumble. It'll be another throw-in this time for the Zebras. But yeah, Stevens probably not the right option. Surprising to see him not in this starting lineup, but having said that, the midfield's been very good. This is picked up by Hoogsluit. Drops back for Sherman. Back inside for Hoogsluit. Takes a touch and says, I'll have a ping. Test Dyson. And Dyson sees it fly in off his hands. An absolute howler. Dyson, it was a fizzing strike of calling the vacuum. He must have been unplugged on that occasion because he didn't suck anything up. He just plain sucked straight in through the hands of Dyson. Poor bugger, but that one goes in the back of the net. 2-0, the Zebras.
Well, he might want the ground to suck him up after that. That is one he's kind of got the reprieve with the offside flag moments ago, fumbling one, and that's one he's just got to have. And that probably kills the contest. Hard to see Clarence finding 2 goals here with 15 minutes to play. 2-0, Hughes-Lute. Well, that's why I have a pop from range, but it was straight down the middle. As Clarence looked to respond immediately. Might have taken the wind out of their sails, though. They try to return the favour with a drive from range from Rob, but goes rather harmlessly wide. And that probably has killed the contest. Hard to see them getting 2. They've not really threatened enough.
You got a feel for Dyson there. He's had a pretty good evening outside that. He pulled off some rippers in the first half, but that was an absolute howler. And unfortunately, it's those big moments where keepers are judged, aren't they? You can see now it's already on his mind. I hope he can just pick that one up and move on from it. But it wasn't his best, was it, Drewster?
Yeah, look at you going to damage control mode, telling him he sucks. Definitely one he'd rather have back, and well, that is why keepers such a difficult position. Who would want to be one, really? That's certainly a big blow and undoes so much what Clarence had fought for here in this game, as Naden tried to anticipate it, but Moreno somehow won the ball, played it to Hughes-Lute, who's been dropping increasingly deep. That's a beautiful through ball for Walsh, who's in behind, and Walsh drives near post this time. Up to the task was Dyson, had his angles covered. A lovely ball from Hughes-Lute, whose influence has increased when he's just started dropping a little bit deeper to receive the ball rather than just staying up top and waiting for it to come to him. I like to see him do that because he's a good passer of the ball, as Moreno sets it out in front of him, but Burgess won it ahead of him. Into the middle from Aldridge to Stevens. Stevens with a lovely little flick of himself to get around Muller, who recovered well. Oh, through ball from Aldridge. A little bit ambitious for Heath, and it's easily cut out by Harrison. Hughes-Lute just bumps into Naden and sends him sprawling. Play on, says the referee. Naden stays down. Want to keep going though. It was a real physical collision there. It's a strong lad, Hughes Loop. Into the middle it goes. Here's Heath. Naden's still down. Looks alright though. They'll shift it out wide right to Kyungmin Choi. What can Choi do? He cuts inside, but was well read by Fag, who's been diligent in defence all evening. Aldridge will try to get to this, but Big Moody across to whack it into touch. Naden's still feeling the effects of that knock. It was quite a coming together. Clarence fans not particularly pleased that the ref hasn't called a stoppage so he can get some treatment. Big Naden, he's back to his feet now rather properly. Play goes on, Aldridge gets to the byline, keeps it in. Oh, a little nutmeg on Muller. Beautiful work, tried to repeat the trick, but couldn't get round Henry Fagg, who was a little more solid in defence, and he sees it behind for a corner. And it'll be Aldridge to take. Not too long to go. They didn't need to score here if they're going to get anything from it. It's headed away by Tokyo. Moreno thumps it long in the direction of Malcolm. Malcolm on halfway, plays it back to Joey Stevens. Stevens launch it down the left channel. Sets a task for Choi. He keeps it in. Looks to get his head up. Can he get a cross in? Tracking him is Toghill. Battle this. Eventually gets the ball in, but it's cleared by Sherman only as far as Lush, whose touch let him down. Just showed too much of it to the defence. Now Sherman can set the counter-attack the other way. They've got numbers flowing forward here, Zebras. McEwen in Akers on the other side if he can get it to him. Went for Moreno instead, and his first touch allowed Henry Lush in, and he charged back to win it. And did well to redeem himself there, Lush. His heavy touch kind of produced that counter-attack in the first place, but never let it be said that he's not a hard worker. He's always sprinting up and down that left-hand flank. It's a pretty good game for the most part. Here is Moody. He'll play it back to right. They'll just knock the ball about as much as they like from here on in, Zebras. There'll be no rush. This game firmly in their pocket. They've been made to earn it, but it looks like it's going to be 3 more points for the Zebras tonight.
It is. That extra goal just stings so hard. I mean, Hoogsloot probably didn't strike it as well as he liked it. You got to feel for Dyson, but that one's a bit of a coach killer, to be honest. It's a tough one because Reds, Clarence, was still in this contest, and the late goal I didn't think was beyond them, but now it looks a bridge too far. Inches down the line, a throw in to come in through Fag. Throws in, looking for Hoogsloot. He nudges it. It's picked up by Malcolm. Cannons long. Only Zebra's there, and Harrison has it to himself. Forward. Walsh spins to effect, loses his man. Tries to enter the box, tumbled into from Malcolm. Keeps on going from the byline, squares it up. Cut off. Well done, Adam Hedge. Comes from Choi, looking long for Aldridge. Cut off from Muller. Shapes inside and has it stolen off him by teammate Morano. Morano now has it sharked away. And it'll be a Zebras throw as it was taken out by Burgess.
The Zebras just looking to finish this one off now. Henry Fagg will take the throw in. Moreno dummies and off a short. Hughes Loop with a long throw, always a popular option here for Zebras. Instead they'll go all the way back to Big Moody. Perhaps a sign that they're happy. Just keep a hold of the ball here for the final few minutes and see it out. Tyler Harrison has been outstanding tonight. As much fight as Clarence have shown, they haven't really created too many genuine goal scoring chances. There haven't been many. The times they've threatened, and a lot of credit has to go to the Zebras defence. They've been rock solid all evening. And Tyler Harrison, a big part of that. They'll be loving having him back in the starting lineup tonight. He's missed a bit of time with injury. With him back in, they're a tough side to break down as Adrian Lawler looks like his physical presence is going to be inserted into the contest here for Kyungmin Choi. So a flying winger for more of a bulldozer really here. He did some nice things in the warm-up game, but personally, I'd like to see the Persian Marsh after his exploit, Skilly.
Where is the Marsh? It's a question on everyone's lips after a brace in the game before. Really would have liked to see him throwing his weight around and giving it his all. Lawler, an interesting change there, but I guess they're bereft of attacking options off the bench as it comes long off the head of Malcolm. Scooped high by Aldridge. They sit under it. Lawler with his first task loses this one as Muller picks it up for a moment. Jumped in by Naden. It comes out wide on the left. Scurried clear and long down the line. It's picked up by Harrison, who find Wright. Wright just holds it up. Back out onto the left. Just bobbles away from Harrison. He'll pick out Sherman, a heavy first touch, but no one there to run it down. They can just play it around here. Zebras at the back. Yeah, for me, Clarence have made 2 changes. They needed to make changes, but they needed some pace and some attacking impotence from those players. They're not really the types that you'd like to pull on at this stage, to be honest, Drewster, in Stevens and Lawler. Maybe if the game was tied at 0-0 and you could have taken a draw. And that, well, I guess that's my point, Drew, is you've just gestured to say there's no one really on the bench. I think that's the issue. They need someone who can come on and have a bit of an impact. He comes in for Hoogsleep. Rob does well, but unfortunately handles it in the process. Zebra's ball. And the crowd have their say.
Yeah, rather vocal bunch, considering it was a fairly blatant handball, I'd have thought, not according to the Clarence fans in attendance, but I suppose that's why we have the video. Sherman drops it off short for Hughes. Played the immediate 1-2. Sherman looked to scythe through. Naden and Stevens leave it for each other, and in the end a foul will relieve the pressure. Game just starting to go through the motions as we tick to 86 minutes here. It's just about curtains in this one. 2-0 the score. Made to earn it, but 3 points and fairly comfortable in the end. They found Clarence hard to break down as this one's again repelled by Harrison. He'll be in the votes conversation for sure. Dropped into the middle for Moreno, who played it for Hugh Sloot. Immediately he returned the ball to the Canadian, and he's storming through the middle here. Ran into a red wall though, and they blocked that off. Muller. And pretty tireless in midfield for Fag. Dropped the shoulder and looks to storm forward. Leaves it for Sunday. And he's just looking to win the corner in there and draws the foul from Burgess. That was a pretty easy one. And a slice of cheese for Burgess's trouble. That might be for persistent fouling more than anything I would have thought. He's had a number of them today where he's just taken the man late. Had a tough outing today, Burgess. And gets a slice of cheese there. And a free kick in a good area as the Zebras will look to just add a little cherry on top of the victory, just emphasise it. And they'll curl it to the back post. Rising high there was McEwen. Moody gets his head around it, and that's wide. Certainly not shy of a goal. As we said, he scored 2 goals in the curtain raiser. And then he's put one into his own net, so very much involved in the goalmouth action. Moreno's down holding a knee, and that's probably not a good sign for a man coming off an injury. And he's immediately signalled to his bench that he needs to be subbed, so that's a really worrying sign for the Zebras. He might have just had a recurrence of that injury that's kept him out. And he's going to come off. So a bit of a blow there, just a few minutes from time. The Canadian Moreno, and he's going to be subbed off with just a couple of minutes to go. It's going to be Ackley, I think, coming on for him, and he'll see out the contest. So a few minutes for the youngster at the end there.
Yeah, not good. Moreno only just coming back from an injury. Looks in a bit of discomfort. Doesn't look too bad though. Looks like he's struggling to breathe a little bit, if I'm honest. He'll make his way off. On comes Ackley, young Ackley. Has a bit about him, young athlete. So Dyson over this one. So 2-0 to the Zebras. You've got to say Clarence being great value in this contest. I think a lot of people thought they'd get absolutely smashed tonight, and they haven't looked like being smashed. So credit must go to Clarence United and Alan Jablonski and the work they're doing there, but they're a decent team. And as I said a little earlier, Drew, so I think the Eastern Shore Derby is going to shape up as a real monster, because it always brings the best out of both teams anyway. But Clarence are in decent form, you've got to say. Maybe short of one or two attacking options, just someone really to demand the ball in number 9. Outside of that, they look pretty good across the park as it's picked up. Muller finds Walsh, who gives and goes to Tolkill. Inside for Hoogsloot. Hoogsloot back for Sherman. Sherman through for Hoogsloot and back for Muller. Oh, Lawler beats Walsh to it, but it falls to Hoogsloot. He bustles and gets it into the box. They battle for it at the edge there. Comes out well through Lawler and a little help from Lush. Finds Stevens in no hurry. Surprise, surprise. Slid away from him by Hoogsloot. Those long hooks come from nowhere. Comes down for Ackley. He has his pass blocked. Now it's with Heath. Looks to find Naden. Can't thread the needle, and it's back with the Zebras defence now through Harrison. He's always so measured and collected when he's on the ball. Comes down the line. It was well worked by Walsh. He does his trademark little dish to myself, but he can't pick the return ball up as it's seen out from Malcolm.
So we've ticked into stoppage time now. Can't imagine there'll be too much of that. Going through the motions, and it's going to be an interesting week for both these teams ahead of the Eastern Shore Derby, and of course Hobart Zebras will play the Devonport Strikers. What a huge game that will be. The only team to have beaten the boys from the Portress so far, who will look to do the job tomorrow against Launceston City, temporarily at least. The Zebras will jump over the top of them. They'll have it all to do at Mitsubishi Park tomorrow evening to reclaim top spot, and that should be an absolute cracker. You've got no doubt that the Devonport boys will just be burning for a little bit of revenge after that earlier match. It's the only slip-up they've had. Disappointing first 45 on that occasion, but certainly improved in the second half, and that will be an absolute cracker as two of the real title contenders go toe-to-toe. Devonport probably weren't at their best that day, but we know what they can do. And as we've dubbed them, the Road Warriors may just be better suited to KG5 than up at Valley Road. Perhaps it'll be up to the Zebras to come out of their shells and attack them, and then they can play that counter-attacking stuff direct over the top. It'll be a thrilling game. A different proposition to Clarence. They've had to grind out this victory tonight against a team that's been pretty rugged for the most part. Clarence, they haven't offered a lot of attacking threat themselves, but they've worked hard. That's something they have in common with Devonport, but it's going to be a cracking game, as will the Eastern Shore Derby. Always a fiery contest, 2-1 earlier in the season, that one. And I've got to say, Olympia probably don't have as strong a squad as they did back then, and Clarence have probably improved, so the Warriors will go in favourites, but the Reds might just be priming themselves for an upset. As Burgess works it forward. Heath is brought down by Fag, and play on, says the referee. And Tyler Harrison plays it into Muller. They're really just waiting for the final whistle now. The Sting pretty well gone out of this contest as they just knock it around the back. Of course, coming live at you tomorrow, we'll have South Hobart travelling to Northern Rangers. You can follow the live blog for that one, Devonport, Launceston City, and we'll be live streaming the boys from the Den at Kingborough taking on Olympia. But that's all for us tonight here. A pretty good effort in the end from Clarence, but not enough against the seasoned Zebras. Made to work for it. They were pretty solid, and they take the 3 points to temporarily go top of the table. Final word from you before we end, Gilly.
Apologies for the technical difficulties, first of all, missing out on that first half. But what you missed in that first half was a real battle. And in this second half, Clarence continued to battle. Zebras, just that little bit of class, I think, shone through, and they found the goals when they needed them to just edge them out and take the result and go to the top of the table for at least one night. We've enjoyed bringing you this second half. Once again, we apologise for the technical difficulties in the first half. We'll be back tomorrow with a live stream from Warrior Park as the Warriors host the Kingborough Lions in what should be an intriguing tussle. Bye for now.